Peoria Charter Company, a fixture in the Central Illinois community for nearly 80 years, says it will close down if it does not get any more help from lawmakers. That's the fear of this local owner as the White House and Congress stall on another coronavirus relief bill. And joining us right now is Bill Winkler, owner and president of Peoria Charter, joining us today via Zoom. Thank you so much for taking the time in speaking with us today. First, can you briefly paint a picture of Peoria Charter's financial situation?
Yes, after hearing the weather forecast about this hurricane that's out there, Peoria Charter is currently in a storm. The worst thing could happen to the motor coach industry is the pandemic. Until the public feels safe indoors in a group for a long period of time, my company is going to continue to suffer. Currently, I have a $150,000 line of credit. And by the end of this month, I have to pay license fees to the state of Illinois of $90,000. So my line of credit is going to go real quick with that $90,000. And I'm counting on the state of Illinois to help me with this big grant. It's BIG grant. The grant ranges from $5,000 to $150,000. So hopefully I get over $90,000 to get paid for these licenses on my coaches that aren't even on the roads currently. There also is a talk of a second round of PPP money, and I received $1.2 million the first round, and in 3 months I was out of that money. I hired back everybody, used the money, and then now I have 100 employees unemployed. So I need more PPP money to get me through the rest of the year. And all the federal politicians are bickering back and forth while I suffer, while my company suffers, and my employees suffer. The last thing is a CERTS Act. It's CERTS Act, and it's Senate Bill 4150, House Bill 7642. That is specifically a $10 billion grant to the motor coach industry and to school buses, knowing our predicament. You know, the airlines got $60 billion with the first relief, as well as mass transit got $25 billion, and now the airlines are asking for another $25 billion, and mass transit is asking for another $32 billion. Well, our industry got nothing.
Well, let's talk about that, because you already brought up the CERTS Act. In fact, Congressman LaHood, it pushed that. He literally just sent an email to our office. I checked it right before we came out, asking for Congress again to bring that forward just within the last few minutes. But let's ask what you would specifically need. What dollar amount, if you could get it, would help your company keep things going? What amount of money?
And one thing about also the CERTS Act is both House and Republicans have majority co-sponsorship. This would be, if this can get to the floor, it can be voted on real quick. And the Treasury has already said they have the money. They're ready. Everybody's ready except our politicians in D.C.
And I want to kind of rephrase that question along with that. You got the CERTS Act. If it were to go through, obviously, again, $10 billion, that's how much you're trying to give to the motor coach industry. But for your company, people might look at the fact that, hey, they did get the $1.2 million loan. How much money would you need to keep the wheels going, so to speak? I mean, to keep the business going. How much are we looking at for your company to make sure that you're in a good spot to pay those employees? Because at one point you had to lay off most of your staff. You brought them back with that loan. What would you need to keep the things going for, I don't know, another 6 months or so, assuming we might be able to get through this pandemic?
Currently, my revenue is down 94% since COVID-19. I'd say my operating expenses are about $300,000 a month. So you do the math.
And my last question to you is on this. We talked about the money that the airlines received, and yes, they're asking for more. How transit received money as well, not your industry. Can you share your message right now to lawmakers who ultimately will be the ones to make that decision? What do you want them to hear, particularly as you say, if you guys don't get the money that you need? What, November? You said November is the time that this is going to have to happen?
In
You're going to have to close up in
November. Right. Exactly.
What do they need?
If I don't get the big grant or anything, November is going to be a cash crunch time, and some big decisions are going to have to be made.
So what do you want? So what do you want lawmakers to know?
I want lawmakers to do their job. That's why we voted you in. Quit bickering. You all agree with this bill. Get it on the floor immediately. The money's there. We need help. The motor coach industry is the only industry that's been hit the hardest. I challenge you, Eugene, to find another industry hit this hard.
All right. That's Bill Winkler with Peoria Charter. We appreciate your time today, as always, taking that time and for letting us know the situation that you're in, sir.